Hi, hello and welcome to another video by the scientist formerly known as Nigeli. I already showed how to make this necklace from soda cans. If you missed it, just click on the link in the upper right corner. In this video I will show you how to make a clasp for the necklace designed in tinkercad and then 3D printed. I already opened the program. It's web-based. You don't have to download nothing. I took a cylinder from the basic shapes and a half sphere. With the mouse I select both objects and then I go for the align tool to center both shapes. With the mouse I select both shapes and group it to make one object out of it. Then I change the length and the width to the desired dimension. Thereafter I change the height. Now I take another cylinder but with the pattern gray and white. This cylinder type is making a hole when grouping with another shape. Again, the dimensions are changed. By clicking on the red arrow on top I can change the angle. Now comes the magic. Just select both objects or shapes with the mouse and then use the group tool and you see that a hole is generated. Then I grab another cylinder to make a hole. The dimensions are chosen slightly smaller than the existing object in orange. Then again choose this aligning tool that I like very much. This should be integrated in Fusion also to align the objects. And with the cube in the navigation bar I turn the object around to see that everything is nice centered. By selecting the red arrow on top of the cylinder I can move the cylinder further down. And now again both objects are selected with the mouse and then we group it and we can immediately say by pressing shift and mouse that there was a hole generated. We grab another cylinder and make the dimension even smaller than the hole so our soda can necklace can fit in between. We take this lovely aligning tool again that I miss so much in Fusion to align the objects. Shift and mouse I rotate the object to see that everything is okay. By clicking on the red arrow on top of the cylinder I move the cylinder up to the correct position. Then we have a last check with mouse and shift. Everything looks fine. So we are ready to export the file to upload it in the slicer. But before we need to construct the second part of the clasp, we select the cylinder and adjust the dimensions. In the next step we would like to combine this cylinder with a ring type of shape. Therefore we grab this blue donut. Then we choose the arrows on top to change the angle. Then both objects are selected and we use the, again I have to say it, lovely aligning tool. We check with the cube in the navigation bar if the aligning was good by moving the object around. Then we select the donut again and move it upwards. Then we click on the navigation bar to make it bigger. When clicking on the donut a menu pops up where some parameters can be adjusted. Especially the donut has to become thinner. And now we have to think how to make the opening into the ring. From the basic shapes, I take this wedge. By clicking on the edges, the options appear to adjust the dimensions. By clicking on the upper arrows, the angle is adjusted. Then we click into the middle of the wedge with the cursor to move it. By clicking on the arrow, we adjust the angle. And then I just use the arrow key on the keyboard to correct the height. And when we see that the position of the wedge is correct, we have to think how to subtract it from the rest. This is done by choosing Hole in the menu for the object. You see that the format of the wedge completely changed. Then we select all objects with the mouse and go for the grouping tool, and the wedge is subtracted. To make the hole in the lower part of this part of the clasp, we choose another cylinder and adjust the dimensions. The two objects are aligned with the aligning tool. Both objects are selected, and via grouping the hole is generated. With Shift and mouse we check the position. Now we go for the last step. We take another cylinder and adjust the dimensions. We select both objects with the cursor and then use the lovely aligning tool. In the navigation bar we go to the button Fit View to selected shapes. To have a better view, then we activate the upper red arrow and move the cylinder into the correct position. Then we grab both objects and group it to make one object out of it. We check the final design with Shift and mouse and go for the export. I use here the Prusa Slicer program. As the objects are very thin, I use for supports the everywhere option. You see here in black the support structure, and in orange is the true objects I really want to print. Then I maneuver through all the layers to check how it looks. Export the G code to the USB stick and upload it to my lovely Prusa Mini. Everything is printed, and now we have to release it from the plate. And then I start carefully removing the support structures. And of course there are still a lot of debris around the clasp, and the color doesn't look that nice. It was the only filament I had left, but it was just to show you the entire process from starting designing something in Tinkercad until you have it in hand. And here you see how to fix the soda can necklace on the first part of the clasp. The process is repeated with the second part. And now, last but not least, you can see how the two parts of the clasp are joined together. And we are already at the end of the video. Stay creative and so long.